Yo, it's your boy MetaverseHunter here back at a brand new video, part 23 of Tales of Rise. The Rents also broke again, or was gone. Bowen was alive-ish. And now, where do we go? Head back to town. So can we just teleport? Oh, no, we don't. Oh, wait, we can. Nope, nowhere to walk. Lovely. So it's gonna be a long-ass walk. That's gonna be fun. Wait, here's some bad guys, because I just also have like no MP left. There we go. We're back at the entrance now, so let's just head in now. Ooh, cutscene.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
Damn.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree.
There's no sovereign.
This time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Yes.
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is...
You dummy.
Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
Doesn't matter.
The Sovereign is
Thanks for the hydrate, man.
right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead.
He was like, what? That's my wood ball. Imposter check.
As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength.
Lend me your strength. This is some Goku Spirit Bomb now.
I know. A bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing.
It is true.
Was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Tarnigan's death. To see a future.
Good on ya. Good on ya, mate.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
So we're going back to Rena? Yeah, we're going... No, we're going to Rena. Because we are in Legos at the moment. Hey, new skill tree. That's for you. Easier perfect guard. Round dasher. Healing arts would be good. I might save with improved healing arts because that might be even more beneficial. But you, nothing. You, we have a lot. Oh, else edge charges great damage. Should be the limit. Back. Limit extent. I like this one. And lore has a lot. You don't have a lot. Because I'm knowing there's like no story for this character anymore. Like look at this, all these slots and you have like just why? I'm gonna see for the healing arts for you and that should be it.
Looks like the people of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words
Oh,
of encouragement,
but
Locke.
first,
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
I want to see if there's anything we can craft. First, let's sell. Wow, that actually gives a lot of money. I don't want to get armor, I want to forge. Ooh, no, that is weaker than my current weapon, so hell no. Oh, that's strong. Skull arena. I thought though we need a good stick for you. That's not so weird. Oh, you. Should I just wait? Oh, Washer's still here. He's still here. Should I just wait to craft? Because I feel like it's better to wait to craft. Yeah, I'm gonna wait to craft because there might be new shit when we get the renter. So, we'll do that. So, I'm just gonna fast travel to rent to the airship and then we go to renter. Okay, we have to go here. Okay. Go here. Okay, so I know where to go, so I'm just probably YouTube. That's what this is. You guys can watch me suffer while I try to find my way to get there. Well, wait a minute, what she? I gave you a shout before, but you're lurking, so I don't know if you saw it. You know, chests around. Nope. Okay, go no. Ah. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Got Anime Club Friday, so I don't know what time you playing the stream as well, Walsh, because I got Anime Club till I'll be home like 8 o'clock, but I don't know what time you start. Like, I feel like nowadays you start like 6:30, 7:30, don't you? I'll be eating my pizza, so who knows when I want to join. Because I don't like to text my fingers with greasy hands. Because it's my cheap meal for tomorrow. No, Friday. Any loot around here? Any loot? No, I already got that chest. Okay. I kind of looted before. I now remember. You guys hear me? Do I have to move just my mic? And we're at the airship, so let's just start heading to Reno. Reno.
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegus, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegus.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Usually I start around 7 p.m.
Yeah. Which is
So
why
probably
we're going
like
to the Ren
an hour or two late. Depends how long you want to stream
All
for.
the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible
because
for all
I
this,
had late
the
dinners.
Red Woman,
That's
and
me,
the Renaissance.
24/7, dude. No judgment. I've been eating dinner
The
like
answers have
8,
to be
9
there.
o'clock lately. For
Are we
some weird ass
prepared to
reason.
finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should...
It scared me.
What?
Oh! He's back. Oh, why is she back? Why is she back? Let's fire her! She's clone jutsu! The eyes just freaks me out. Just pure black eyes, like something that Walsh would play as a horror game. Just saying. It's definitely something you'll play in Phantomatosia or the other one, Lethal. No, not much Lethal, probably just Phasmatosia. Phasmatosia? Phasmat. I don't know how to speak.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
Self-destruct. Phas.
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands.
Yeah. Both
The engine's
Phasmobia.
being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
I don't
Is
know
all of
English.
this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
It looks like something from Guardians of the Galaxy. That planet. It's a death ray. Huh? Why am I watching right now? Bro, this looks like an anime at this point. Some in-game anime episode 11 stuff. A giant flower. I have too many questions or not enough questions.
Blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
Chill, Alphen.
A flower of oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
2 plus
Can you fix
2
it?
world.
Starships are
Yeah,
extremely complex
yeah.
machines. One wrong move while we're out
Yeah,
here in
2
space
parts
could very well
to the
cost us
word.
our lives.
So what? We're just
Pho-
stuck inside here,
phobia
floating around?
equals
For
fear
how
and
long?
phasmo
I don't believe
equals
this.
ghost.
We've made it all this way.
Well,
and now
doesn't
we're
that red
stuck
woman
here?
look like one though?
We're watching
Like something
Dana
like
die before our
you'll
eyes,
see
and
a
we have
creepy
no choice but
window
to
and you
sit
just
here
turn
and
around
starve
and
to
see
death.
that. Like,
Look,
doesn't it
calm
look
down.
like it? That red woman?
You're not the only one who's worried here.
Like creepy ass
Right.
ghost thing? I don't
Sorry.
know. Like I could be wrong,
It's
but
still
it
too
doesn't it
early
look
to
like
give
it
up.
just a little bit.
There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, that's what it is.
No, this is
The
different.
fear of ghosts.
Something is pulling our ship in
What
towards
am I
it.
thinking of? Maybe Lethal with the scary monsters? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Lethal. Might be thinking of Lethal then. Maybe. Oh, the Star Trek ship. Out of on this today. Yeah.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
Yes, I'm
Looks
thinking
like
of Lethal
Lennigus in
then.
here.
I got the two mixed up.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
But dude, add that
Perhaps.
aura and
Someone
black
brought us
eyes
here.
in that game,
The
that'd be
question
more
is,
terrifying.
Who?
Like that purple scary aura,
We haven't been
purple
ambushed,
eyes. You
so
turn
that
around,
probably means
the
they
whole
aren't
screen
hostile.
the whole screen just starts
Still,
trembling.
Why would anyone want
That
to
would
bring
be
us here?
freaky. Like Five Nights at Freddy freaky.
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
Okay. Well, let's have a look around. I moved 2 seconds.
I still
Oh,
can't get
that's
over
why.
what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
There's a flower, I was
Beats
right.
me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
But don't you agree if that
Rena and Dana. We were taught
this
that
game
both
Red Woman
worlds
was
were
in Lethal,
spherical
that would be
bodies
terrifying.
that floated
When
amongst
is
the
the mod
stars
for
in the
that?
heavens. But to think that they
Probably
lied to
not.
us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise
what's
guy
that
that
behind?
summoned us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's
Okay.
find them.
Let's look around, see if there's any loot. Nope. Okay, go. Still lower. Center. Oh, center! We got it right. Oh. Oh, freaky ass door. Huh. Can I go to the top floor? I want to see if there's anything in the top floor before I do anything. Okay, got to patch up level. Okay. Lower? Okay, it's just this floor. That's good to know. More cutscenes! This game loves their cutscenes.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
Or not a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
It's a robot.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you.
Shadows.
However,
shadow patching.
You aren't under its control.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't play
I
fast.
see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh, goody. More riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here.
I am robot.
Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this great spirit of which you speak?
Oh, okay.
Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
But that guy refused it because he's in this weird
the
area.
voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it without question throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this great spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Lord.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Lord.
Let's assume that what Hevrek
Lord,
35
take a chill
claims
pill, bro.
is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's great spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegis are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy.
Oh, wow.
The pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed.
She
Lenegis
was
was severely
descended.
damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrecht 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
Request?
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay
I'm sorry,
the Great
what?
Spirit.
I'm sorry, what? You want to slay? You want us to slay
I'm sorry,
God?
did you just ask us to kill your
You're
master?
saying? Because there's two
I
gods,
did.
Rena and the other one.
It is in your best interest that you
Down,
do
down.
so,
I always
I might add.
can't say the other D
What makes
one.
you say that?
Down, down.
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan.
Look at this. Yeah.
As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse. and
That's what the
transmitted
big
to Rena.
flowers. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. You
If
guys
nothing
can go
is
to the
done
cutscene.
about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
Yeah, that's actually sad.
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us.
Okay,
Let's
so
take a
we'll
look
have to
around.
look around. Okay. So find the others. So, oh, okay, cutscene.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right?
Paul really needs to
I mean,
chill and
it's
start
practically
trusting a bit more.
blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renin Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, Had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
Radio.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out.
Okay, we gotta go look for the others now. So, I'm guessing lower floor? Lower. Oh! Got it right. Hey, we got it right. Let's go.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrecht 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Okay. So just start talking to them.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Faisal with Hevric 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrecht 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front
Oh
of
wow,
them.
that's actually handy.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected.
Wow.
It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrecht 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Okay. On the side.
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not.
Oh.
There's really no such thing as
That's
Renans in
insane.
the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
Oh, that's a plot twist. Heaven's shocked.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astro arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and—
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance.
Ignorance?
If it meant
Is this
their
guy
hands
serious?
had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
I still think it's a bit messed up.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
Okay, I think we'll go one more.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renus Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevricht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Human baby making.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay.
We might not be able to.
Sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Party's disbanded.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
See what everyone's feeling. Okay, go quickly.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans and the Great Spirit and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster. but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
Okay, just have to turn my face cam off for a minute, but yeah. Yeah, why not? Got happy bottles. So go listen to everyone, and then we gotta talk to the Great Spirit again.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down, and there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah, I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everick 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dana's still our home. There's no way we can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
We will keep it safe. Alright, finish the stream.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about, all I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
Awesome.
I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
Okay, now we talk to this guy and we should be done.
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
How's it going, man? It's
Correct.
going good, going
Even if
good.
we stop the Great
We're
Spirit
pretty
from
much at the
annihilating
endgame now.
Dana,
We're just preparing
our
for the
problems will still
final
remain,
dungeon at the moment. We're
putting
just
aside
talking to
the
everyone and all
untold
that.
state that Rena may be
Yeah, I'm
in.
going good. How are you
If we do
going?
not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire.
It's
There
going
is,
good.
after
I'm
all,
like,
3
okay,
centuries worth of
nice.
hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck.
Look what I'm
There had
drinking
been
too.
backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that
And also, I
responsibility.
finally got back to
In that
this.
regard, I remain determined.
And drink Venta Orange.
On
Well,
that note, I have something of a favor to ask
Seller
of you,
also got
Alphen.
back to me, so I finally bought
What is it?
Blitz and
I
Nightmare
wish
Rex.
for you to
So
serve as
that
a
should be
mediator,
delivered.
so that the Renans can live on
No
Dana
idea.
peaceably. As the one and only blazing sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it
So
will
I
take
finally
time
bought
for Renans to
those.
re-enter Danan
Bought
society
base I was
without any
talking about
bloodshed.
like a while ago.
That is why.
So my next hunt
You're
is
the
Storm
same as
Aquario.
ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
After
No,
this video games and
relax.
passport.
You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
buddies.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some
Very
high
cool.
praise, Alpha.
Yeah.
Then I'll ask once
So
again.
when that comes
this
with
time
the
just
epic
as
unboxing and low bells, I can do with
Alphen,
it.
will you help
I
me?
have so many powers I
You
want to
don't
do.
even need to ask.
Blitz, Barrieras,
Of course I will.
Blitz, Big Bang,
Thank you,
Blitz,
my friend.
Bang. That's so many ideas I want to do with Blitz when that comes.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
Blitz, upgrade,
What about you, She-Hulk?
or
How do you feel about the
Nightmare
origin of the Renans?
Rex. No,
To be
Blitz
honest,
upgrade
I'm
from Raygill.
not really all that
Blitz is
shocked,
the
actually.
perfect will for
I mean,
Raygill
I might
upgrade.
be a Renan in the literal
To
sense,
keep it a text,
but I've
though.
never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean,
I was thinking Nightmare
how could
Will
I
for
have?
Bull, actually, more than Blitz.
It's been going on for
Like Nightmare Bull
300
just
years.
sounds
All
cool
this
to me.
tragedy and destruction.
Like the bull.
When
Like,
you
could you
consider the
imagine Bull
Helganquil's
had
part
like
in
a
all this,
dark
it's been
form? It would be
even
called
longer than
Nightmare
that.
Bull. That's also why I got That's
It was
also kind of
Naori's
why
hope
I got Nightmare
that
Rex.
somehow, someone in the future would be
You
able
cannot
to stop
deny
it
the
before it was too
name
late.
Nightmare Bull
How it fell on us, of all
does
people,
not sound
to
cool.
heed that call
It really
is
sounds
a
really cool.
mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting
Like Nightmare
destroyed.
Bull, keep the horns.
She considered me,
Probably give it
Dana, as a
Arson.
real person.
Or
And she very much cherished her own people too.
or balanced.
I don't think she wanted the
Or
world to be
defense set?
saved,
No, I need by new
just so
one.
they could go
What
back
would
to
be
hurting
cool?
each other. Oh, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to
SD?
Kisara
Yeah.
earlier, about all that stuff,
I know, I'll
like
think about Bolton
everyone's
later.
needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down
Oh yeah,
that
and
path
Gio
is for each
entered
of us to
them
put
duo
aside
versus.
our own hatred.
He just
That means
posted, he
forgiving
sent me
other
an
people,
Instagram, so
even and
you know, I
especially
kind of had
before
to
they
do something
forgive
unique
you.
with that one.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to.
Oh yeah, also
I know
Darren,
that
I'm gonna
better
try
than
and finish
most,
this game
thanks to
today.
these
If I
thorns.
don't, I'm gonna do a bonus
It's
stream
not going
tomorrow
to
to
be
finish
easy
this
getting
game.
past this pain.
But I don't think
But
I'll
if
be able
we
to
can
finish
do
it, so
I'm sure there'll come a time
we'll
when
see
we
how
can
it goes.
all truly understand each other. I'm there with
I might
you,
be able to do an
Shion.
hour in the dungeon.
I too want to
But then I'll
protect the
probably have
world we
to
live in
craft the dungeon
all
and
the
finish it
people
up
we care
tomorrow.
about.
Then we work on
I think
DLCs
that's the
on
very least I can do
tomorrow
to
and
repay
Sunday.
Naori
So this
for
week I'm gonna be
everything
streaming
that she
3
did.
times, just so we
Yeah.
can get this game
I
done
want
this
a
week.
future that
We'll
she
try
would feel
to
proud
release.
to live in, and I'm going to
Also,
fight
do you have
for it.
Twitter? Devin, do you
Whoa
have
there,
Twitter?
Savior girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
I won't be able to voice it next 3 days. So, oh good, it just gives me more time
Is
to work
everybody ready
on the
to
more
do what needs
videos,
to
but
be
yeah.
done?
I am.
So it's all good.
There's a lot
You don't have
think
to
about,
force yourself
but
to
at
be
the
in
end of
voice
the
chat.
day, Dan
It's
is
more
still
like
in danger.
you want to hang out thing,
I don't
so you
care
don't
who
be
we're up
forced
against.
to, you
We'll
know,
kick
pop in
their
voice chat.
ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said,
I
if we
do
have to
not
fight the
Twitter.
Great
Okay,
Spirit
I'll
on
have
Rena,
to do the poll
then so be it.
on,
It's trying to rob us of our entire world.
Discord.
And it's going to take not just
And
our
also
home,
do,
but all of existence along with it.
Twitter, and I'll
That
just find the
alone
votes.
is enough
That's
to make it
probably what I'll
our
do.
enemy.
Because YouTube, no point, because
But
that's
it's not only
the-
that.
at the moment.
One way or another, I think beating the
Okay.
Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Xion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Xion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Xion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Xion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Xion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is.
Okay. Members who live and join the party. I want to check something before we continue. 700. Nope, not enough yet.
Minds are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.
Our answer is we will help it destroy them. I didn't even notice around here. That actually looks really cool. But yeah.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the great spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Xion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the Thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
Twitter.
What will happen to the maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the great spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational.
That's...
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave
Oh,
here.
damn.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
Oh?
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Havrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
The truth.
Man, is it too much to ask for
Wait,
Havrek 35 to
Starship
talk like a
repair.
normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him.
Okay.
Now all we have to do is rest up and wait.
Yeah, so we just gotta rest.
Once
from
the Fall
wait
Knights
for
is
the
good to
ship.
go again, we'll be taking off for Rena right away.
Take some time to complete repairing such as suggest you might get some rest. Rest. More cutscenes.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy.
Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
They're flirting.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me.
Flirting.
I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Are all of them gonna be flirting now?
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
What?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Hevrick 35 might know the answer. But You know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No. What were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Shion?
Same as you. Still trying to
It
absorb
seems
everything.
more like you fuck around and you find out.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana?
Yeah,
Although that
yeah,
feels like
after
a
the
lifetime ago,
cutscenes are
doesn't
over,
it?
I might just
Ages and ages
stream
ago.
the last dungeon tomorrow
Everything
because I
that's
looked up
happened since
how
we
long the
first
last
met.
dungeon is.
So many fights,
It's
so
4
much
hours
chaos.
long. Yeah, I'm
So
like,
many
I can't do
wonderful
that tonight.
people.
It's already like almost 10 o'clock.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more.
Like the last boss fight as a whole
I wouldn't have my
is
memories
probably
back.
like,
I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long
yeah,
dead.
4 hours roughly. So it means I'll start stream earlier tomorrow and finish the game of tomorrow.
Hey, Alphen.
And start DLCs
I
on
want you
Sunday.
to promise me something.
That's the game plan at least.
Yeah?
So I'm doing 3 streams
If we
this week.
can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrect 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we
DLC's
can't
10
get the
hours,
Renis
so
Alma back,
that will be like
you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the
3
Great
streams.
Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything that
Listen,
we've...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem.
What's your third stream for though?
It's a threat.
Like I know
to
you
our
got Family
entire
Tuesday
world.
on Friday.
Renans
You
and
did Wandering
Danans alike.
Ways yesterday. What's the third one for?
We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't
CZZ?
second guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got.
I might stream earlier though, so I
But if
can
it comes
eat
down
and
to it,
stream longer.
I need you to
Like,
be
eat
prepared
earlier and
too.
stream longer.
Okay.
And if my dad is away
But
on
you should know that I'm not going to give up
Tuesday,
on you, Shion. I'm going to
know,
fight
but-
this until the very
actually I
end.
can do it. I don't care. I'll probably stream 4 times next
I
week.
hope you can forgive me for that.
I'll see how my schedule goes. Because I gotta record Monday.
Alphen.
I can do Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'll figure it out next week, but this week I'm doing 3.
Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
So what's the third stream for, Walsh?
Thank you, Shion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
Maybe ZZZ tomorrow.
You
and
won't
then
have to
a
worry
bit
about that
of
for much
myself.
longer.
Wolf Fantasy on Friday. Okay.
You think so?
Yeah, for summons,
I
yeah.
do,
makes
because
sense.
No. You can tell me once my thorns
Yeah,
are
I'm
gone.
thinking making a second count
Okay.
for ZZZ on PlayStation because it seems very PlayStation friendly, which is really weird. I've seen a lot of people just mainly on PlayStation. I'll see how it go.
Everybody get enough
Where's
rest?
my
You
cuts?
ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably
Actually,
get
we will
moving.
not found this
Agreed.
week. Okay.
Can't stand around waiting all day.
Okay.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only
I'll
descend down
show
to
you tomorrow,
Rena,
though,
defeat
so
the Great
see what
Spirit,
time I stream
and
there.
restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come
I've
this far.
been Very little,
We
so,
will save our worlds.
uh,
That's a promise.
a bakery sausage.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything
Oh
is
yeah, I
in
remember you
working
talking
order.
to
Is that
Jay.
you, Hevrek 35?
Someone on your stream.
You can
yes.
see
Was
us
it
from where
Jay?
you are?
I think it was Jay. About the
I
whole
can.
lethal update.
I can
Or
see
am I just
anywhere
going to see
within
it
the
now?
bounds of Dig Faisal.
Sounds like
Oh, God,
someone's
not
a
the
peeping
graphic.
Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrek
Yeah, it was
35
Jay,
a
yeah.
break.
Oh. Okay. No
It
idea what
has
happened
been
there.
stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using
yeah, it
the
was
warp
Jay.
drive,
Yeah, I thought
you
so.
should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need
Yeah,
to be
probably
careful.
just walk around when you
Due
play
to the
lethal
force
then,
field
because
surrounding Rena,
you usually
the
really
ship will
focus
be
on the
unable
game
to
less
go
than
any
chat when
further
you
than
play
the
with
surface
like
of the planet.
people. So
So,
probably still
once
up in
we reach
stream,
the
bro.
shell,
Just
it
walk
appears
around
we'll have
and
to
work on the
infiltrate the
shit on the
core by
side.
foot. Understood.
Oh, it's just on
We
that.
gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange
That
feeling we're going to have to
couldn't be
fight them
worse.
before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I
The
have one
polarity
last
is
question.
real.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand.
Take
All right,
off
time to
to
get back
Rena.
on the Fall Knights.
Okay, we're gonna end our last net. Part 23 of Tales of Rise here. Next part, we're taking on the last dungeon of the game, the boss. I'm kind of excited to see how hard the dungeon is. Hoping there's a way we can get new weapons. If not, maybe in the dungeon. We'll see. Find out. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy almost the last part. Not last part yet, but I hope you guys did enjoy part 23 of Tales of Rise here. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, subscribe. As always, see you later.